Welcome back to Firepower. Every hunter, from the Rockies to the Carolinas, asks the same question every single season. What's the perfect hunting caliber? Some claim it's all about speed, others swear by brute power, and a few insist that precision beats both. But when the moment of truth comes, when the deer steps into your sights and the trigger breaks, the wrong caliber can ruin the hunt, or worse, leave an animal suffering. In 2025, one cartridge stands above them all, a round that bridges old wisdom and modern innovation. Today we're going to find out which caliber truly earns the title of America's #1 hunting cartridge. This isn't theory or nostalgia. It's performance, measured and proven. Here on Firepower, we don't repeat the marketing. We test the metal, the powder, and the truth. In this breakdown, we'll compare 7 of the most popular hunting calibers in the United States and push them through real-world testing. Brush, woodland, plains, and big game country. We'll track their performance in penetration, expansion, energy, and recoil to find which one deserves a place in your rifle this season. Load up, check your zero, and settle in. Because what we found will change how you see your next hunt. Before we dive into results, let's talk physics. Ballistics is more than just a chart or a fancy number on a box. It's the science behind whether your bullet flies flat, hits hard, and stops clean. Velocity determines reach and trajectory. Energy decides how much impact is delivered when it lands. Sectional density tells us how deeply it penetrates, and expansion controls how wide the wound channel becomes. The perfect hunting caliber isn't the fastest or the biggest, it's the one that balances all 4 in harmony. To keep our comparisons fair, we divided the testing into 4 realistic hunting zones. The first is brush country, thick timber and short-range encounters where shots rarely exceed 100 yards and every branch can deflect a round. The second is woodland, the heart of North American hunting, where ranges stretch to about 250 yards. The third zone is the open plains, wide, windy distances past 300 yards that demand precision and retained energy. And finally, big game country, elk, bear, and moose territory, where sheer power and penetration decide whether you bring home the trophy or just a story. Now let's meet the contenders. The 30-30 Winchester, the brush king. A cartridge over a century old and still revered for its close-range stopping power. It's slow and heavy, but inside 100 yards, it hits like a freight train. The downside? Its rainbow trajectory and energy drop make it a poor choice for longer shots. Next, the .308 Winchester, the all-around workhorse. It's accurate, available, and comfortable to shoot, used by both hunters and snipers alike. It's one of the most balanced cartridges ever made, but it can lose energy faster than some Magnum rounds once you stretch the distance. Then comes the .270 Winchester, the flat shooting favorite. It flies fast, stays level, and delivers precision across open terrain. It's deadly on mule deer and antelope, but some argue it lacks the punch needed for the biggest animals. Then we move up in power. The .300 Winchester Magnum, the powerhouse of the group. Brutal recoil, expensive ammo, but undeniable authority at long range. It's a round that dominates the mountain hunts, but punishes shooters who can't handle its kick. The 7mm Remington Magnum follows, sleek and balanced, offering near Magnum energy with a flatter trajectory and softer recoil. It's a favorite of guides who value reach and accuracy. And finally, the veteran that refuses to die, the .30-06 Springfield. Born from a battlefield and refined in the wild, it's the cartridge that has fed more American families than any other in history. It's not flashy, but it works every time. When we put these rounds head-to-head, the results were illuminating. In the brush zone, the .30-30 held its ground as expected. It's slow, but that's its strength. The heavy bullet doesn't deflect easily, and its moderate speed means it transfers energy fast. Inside 100 yards, the 30-30 still delivers devastating terminal damage. But the moment you stretch past that, the energy drops and accuracy begins to fade. Moving into woodland, the .308 came alive. Easy recoil, consistent accuracy, and versatility across all rifle types made it shine. It punched clean through simulated rib bone and gel, expanding reliably without over-penetrating. The .308's balance of control and power makes it ideal for deer, hogs, and black bear alike. Out on the plains, the .270 and 7mm Remington Magnum ruled the field. The 270's velocity gave it an edge in flatter flight paths and wind resistance, while the 7mm offered deeper penetration and more energy at long range. Both hit hard at over 300 yards, with the 7mm clearly dominating beyond 400. When we stepped into big game country, however, the story changed. The .300 Winchester Magnum thundered with authority, blowing through ballistic gel, bone simulants, and even layered barriers like light wood and thick hide. Its penetration was unmatched, but the recoil was brutal, enough to make follow-up shots difficult. Not every hunter can handle that punishment. Then came the .30-06. Shot after shot, it delivered consistent performance across every zone. Enough speed to handle distance, enough power to drop elk, and yet mild enough recoil to train with comfortably. It didn't dominate any single test, but it scored near the top in all of them. And that consistency is what sets it apart. In field trials, we ran 2 side-by-side tests. First, at 75 yards in dense cover, the 30-30 and 38 went head-to-head. The 30-30 hit with authority but stopped short, while the 38 passed clean through the rib cage, expanding perfectly. Second, at 340 yards across an open plain, the .270 and .3006 faced off. The .270 reached faster, but its bullet expanded too quickly and lost mass. The 30-006 hit slightly slower but maintained weight, mushroomed evenly, and exited cleanly. A textbook kill shot. Now let's talk about real-world practicality. Ammunition cost matters. The 30-006 sits comfortably in the middle, affordable, widely available, and offered in every major hunting bullet type. You can walk into any store in the country and find a box. The Magnums? Twice the price, harder to find, and more punishing on the shoulder. Recoil matters too. A cartridge that you're afraid to shoot is a cartridge you won't practice with. And accuracy always beats horsepower when the target is alive. When we reviewed all the data, one round stood alone as the all-around choice for the American hunter. The 30-006 Springfield, the quiet, consistent veteran that outlasted trends, wars, and marketing gimmicks. At the muzzle, it produces around 2,700 to 3,000 foot-pounds of energy, enough for any North American game animal. At 300 yards, it still carries more power than some calibers do at point-blank range. Its versatility is unmatched, handling bullet weights from 125 to 220 grains. Light for varmints, heavy for moose and bear. It's the rifle you can take anywhere, in any season, and know it will perform. For deer and medium game, 150-grain soft points offer fast expansion and minimal recoil. For elk or big game, 180-grain bonded bullets provide deep penetration and controlled expansion. And for dangerous game, the 200-grain and up options are devastatingly effective. It's simple, reliable, and proven. But let's be honest. There's no such thing as a perfect caliber. If your hunts are mostly under 100 yards in thick brush, the 30-30 remains unbeatable for speed and control. If you hunt long range in the Rockies, the 7mm Remington Magnum or .300 Winchester Magnum will serve you better with flatter trajectories. But for the majority of hunters, the 30-006 is the rifle that just works. Every time, everywhere. Beyond numbers, the .30-06 carries a legacy that defines American hunting itself. It was born in service, forged in war, and perfected in the field. It has filled more freezers and hung more antlers on walls than any cartridge before or since. Hunters pass these rifles down through generations because they work, not because they're trendy. The 30-006 doesn't just shoot, it delivers confidence. If you're setting up your rifle for the 2025 season, here's what you need to know. Pair it with a 22 to 24-inch barrel for the best velocity balance. Zero it at 200 yards and you'll hit point blank out to nearly 250 without adjusting. Use quality optics, a 3 to 9 times for general use or a 4 to 16 times if you're pushing long distances. Practice with the same loads you'll hunt with. Your trigger control and recoil timing must become instinct, and above all, remember, ethics matter more than energy. The best caliber is the one you can shoot accurately and confidently. Always aim for a clean, humane kill. Don't take the shot unless you know it's yours to make. Respect the animal, respect the hunt, and respect the tool that gets it done. Now it's your turn. What caliber do you trust most when you head into the field? Have you traded an old favorite for something modern, or are you still carrying your grandfather's 30-06 into the woods? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might be the one we feature in our next round of ballistic testing. Because at Firepower, we don't just shoot rounds, we test truth. The 30-006 Springfield stands tall not because it's flashy or new, but because it's earned the trust of hunters across generations. Reliable, versatile, and undeniably American. This is Firepower, where we test the facts, not the marketing. Stay sharp, shoot straight, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.